Enzo Maresca has left Chelsea Football Club. Enzo Maresca has been sacked by Chelsea Football Club. I think you can use both those terms absolutely fairly because they have left after an agreement, but the unanimous decision from the Chelsea board was that Maresca will leave. So that is basically a sacking in my eyes, and I have to talk about it because I'm severely worried about the state of Chelsea Football Club. I can see a situation where this kind of manager loop happens again and again and again for the next 10, 15 years, and we're in serious trouble because the same thing I think is going to happen again. I think someone like Liam Rosenior is going to get hired. I think he's going to overperform in his first season. Then he's going to start having a couple of demands. They're not going to like it. And then he's going to get sacked after a bit of a poor performance in the winter months. And I think we're going to see that so many times in the last 10, over the next 10 years. And then we're going to wonder, well, we haven't really won any trophies. We're not the proper Chelsea that we know and love. What's happened here? And it's just going to go by in a flash. And I'm really worried about it. And I need it to stop. And I want it to stop. So let's have a talk about it. I wanted to relaunch this YouTube channel in 2026. Didn't know that it was going to be in this fashion on the 1st of January, but I hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like, hit subscribe if you're excited for the content on this channel in the new year. We've got loads of good stuff coming, but here we go. Let's talk about Enzo Maresca and Chelsea Football Club parting ways. I think the first thing to talk about is what Enzo Maresca has done as he's come into the club. He has been overall fantastic in my eyes. If we look at it, what did he have to do when he came into the club? Number one mission: get us back into the Champions League. Did he do that? Absolutely. We came fourth. We were fourth or fifth for the majority of the year. Yes, we looked like we were pushing for the title in that November, kind of December period, but nevertheless, we still got the top four. Job done. Chelsea back in the Champions League. Absolutely love it. The owners can't be complaining about that. That's exactly what they wanted. Next thing was to win the Conference League. Get a European trophy back to Chelsea. No matter what you think about the Conference League, it is a European trophy, and it's getting that DNA of winning trophies back into Chelsea's system. Now, yes, it was quite an easy one to win, and yes, we should have won it. Absolutely, we were the bookies' favourites, and quite rightfully so. But we won it, and some teams, I reckon, in that situation, the pressure of that would have got too much. I think you see a lot of teams not winning it, not some English teams not winning the Europa League when they're in the final, not winning the Conference League when they're a final, and we managed to do that. So that was absolutely fantastic. Then the cherry on top was winning the Club World Cup. No matter what you think about that performance, we played against the best, and we beat the best, and that was that, and job done. Absolutely solid, and it was so good. He won the owners and everything so much money, and that's all they really care about. So they should be so grateful for him. We beat the European champions in the final, smashed them, and that was incredible. To have that kind of winning feeling back at Chelsea, so good, so good. It felt just absolutely brilliant. And then other benefits that we just had a more controlled feeling at the club throughout his tenure in my eyes. Pochettino was so crazy, so all over the place, and I think one of the things that Maresca did so fantastically, getting Reece James back to playing football, getting our captain and one of our best players technically, and just in general as a leader, getting him back playing consistent football was just so fantastic. And I think that does go a bit underrated. It's so brilliant that he did that because Pochettino was ruining our club, getting all the players injured. I know he obviously didn't tackle everyone and get them injured, but he was really just. Chelsea was very messy under Pochettino, and Maresca has really tidied up and done fantastically. Now, I'm not going to sit here and deny that there are some weaknesses of Enzo Maresca. Absolutely not. I would be a fool to do that, and I'd just be lying to you and lying to myself. He was making mistakes, especially when players were getting sent off, and especially some of his second half substitutions. Those were parts of his games that had to improve. And yes, we weren't on a great run now, but he has not been sacked because of the results recently. Absolutely not. He won Manager of the Month in November, and it's been 1 month since that happened. Like, you can't just take 1 month of results and then there'd be a sacking. We were told repeatedly that Enzo Maresca was only going to be reviewed in the summer. It's not based on that. It is based on inside political stuff at Chelsea Football Club, and that is fundamentally what it's come down to. I think Enzo Maresca has overall been a good manager for Chelsea, and the thing that I love the most is, yes, he has those inconsistencies. Yes, he's a young manager, but him and the club and the players are growing together. It's a project. Enzo Maresca's come in. That's the start of the project in my eyes, that Enzo Maresca coming in, and then you have the players coming in, and it's growing together. And what's happened here is Enzo Maresca is growing, the club is growing, but he's not being given good enough resources to help grow at the same rate that he's growing as a manager. Like, you look at Enzo Maresca, he improved when he had an inability to, let's say, for as an example, he had an inability to manage games when we got players sent off. He started improving that. He showed as an example in the Arsenal game that he could improve that, and he got his management in that scenario perfectly better. That's him improving. Our players sometimes are improving. I mean, this year we're actually doing worse than we did last season, but the resources that he's getting given are just ridiculous. And this is the part of the video where I'm going to go on to talk about Egbali, Stanley, and Stewart. I think those three are the biggest to blame. I think Todd Bowley, he really doesn't have that much to blame because he's really not as involved as Egbali at the moment. And yes, he does have a good say, but honestly, I really don't think he's massively at fault. And Joe Shields, I think if you look at the players that he's brought in from Man City, which is basically his main contribution, overall they're really not that bad. I know Tosin's been disastrous, but he's not meant to be playing a lot as he did in the beginning of this season. Cole Palmer's been a massive hit. Jadon Sancho did the job for his duration, and Jamie Gittins has potential. And yes, right now not good enough. So I'm gonna just allow Joe Shields just now. I mean, he's on the edge, but I'm gonna allow him for now. With Stanley and Stewart, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of hours that Enzo Maresca is leaving isn't going to change the model. Chelsea's model is going to continue the exact same way. I don't think the model is actually that much of an issue at Chelsea Football Club. I think this theory of buying young players isn't the issue. The talent identification, the talent ID is the fundamental issue. If you look at all the players that Enzo Maresca has been signed, there is about 4 out of 20 that are like, oh, I can kind of see, I can understand that. That's a talented player, and I can see it. I think João Pedro is one of those that look really good. I mean, I have an affinity for Liam Delap, but at one point you kind of look at it and you go, maybe he isn't like the elite level to come in. Like João Pedro and Liam Delap, both players that haven't like absolutely proven it at the top level. They're good, but are they going to like hit the ground running? Then you have like Buonanotte, I can't remember his name, the guy from Kellerman, the guy who we signed for, I know it was for PSR reasons, but players like that just coming in, like, there's such a lack of quality of player, and they've chosen the wrong players to invest so much money in, like Gittins and Garnacho. I believe Garnacho is going to be good for Chelsea in the future, but Gittins and Garnacho, it just doesn't, like 100 million on that doesn't just absolutely give you so much enthusiasm. When you look at someone like Semenyo, and you look previously that like we were close to getting Elise, we didn't get Elise, and then you've got Madueke, and then you've got I don't know, Pedro Neto, and it's just like you look at all these players that were promised, and then you look at the players that we actually get, and I don't think some of the players that we actually got are that bad. But it's just the talent ID. They always get it wrong. And I feel like they're clutching at Palmer and Esteval so much. Palmer was a lucky buy from Joe Shields, the Man City guy. We were panicking, I think, and we needed to get someone in a number 10 when I think Kai Havertz left. Cole Palmer was like, oh, God, he looks kind of good for City youth. Let's get him in. He's exploded and been fantastic. And Esteval, fair enough, great find. But you can throw so much shit at the wall and something will stick after all. I mean, there's so many people like Paez and Esteval. They're two people, for example. I don't think Paez is looking that good for Strasbourg at all, and it's looking really worrying. Guys, this is really poor. I think that all the briefs are coming out now. We're looking at hearing that Enzo Maresca's being sacked because he's been talking to Man City. Surely it's a compliment if one of the best teams in the country is trying to poach your manager after Pep Guardiola leaves Man City. And you're hearing things about him having disagreements with the medical staff about bringing players back. It's like all these things are just absolute waffle. And I tell you right now, be very careful what you read and believe on social media. The Chelsea media team are so good at putting out briefs. So good at putting out briefs to trying to convince and brainwash the Chelsea fans. Don't believe it, because Enzo Maresca was a good manager for Chelsea Football Club. He was the man that was going to take us into the near future at the very least. And he's been sacked. He's been told to leave the club. And honestly, I promise you, he will go to a Man City. He will go to a Man United. He might even go to a Tottenham. And he will do a good job because he's a good manager. And as long as he has respect from the owners and the sporting directors, he can go very far. And it's an absolute shambles that Chelsea have done this. I would like to protest against Stanley, Stewart, and Egbali. I want them out my football club because I'm very scared that in 5-10 years, I'm going to be sat here in this very seat. No, not this very seat, but I'm going to be talking to you and saying, what has all gone wrong? The last 10 years, wow. We're just a fraction of the club that we used to be. And Enzo Maresca was slowly chipping away and getting us back to where we should be. We're finished now, lads. We're absolutely finished. I would love you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit subscribe. And God, we have a fascinating 2026 coming at Chelsea Football Club.